Okay. Hi. Hi, Vamshi. Okay. So, am I audible? Am I audible? Am I audible? Hello? Hello? Okay, done. Okay. So, guys, let me give a short introduction. What is this about? My name is Soumya Santosh, by the way, and I'm a CMA final student. And today we are going to cover the few chapters of corporate and economic law for CMA final students, and this is going to be benefit for CA students also, CA final students also. Okay, so we are going for the sequence of SARFAESI first. Second is going to be RBI. Third is going to be the Banking Regulation Act 1949, and the last is going to be the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. And you will get all of the notes in my Telegram channel, and you need a Suchitra Prakashan scanner with you, because at last, once we are completed or we are done with the chapter, we will move to the questions from the scanner. Okay, so yes, let's get started. First chapter is going to be the SARFAESI, the securitization and reconstruction of financial asset and enforcement of securities interest act 2002. So let's go for section 13 first. What is enforcement of security interest? First, we should know when it's going to happen. ठीक है, when the who are the secured creditor, who are the borrower. ठीक है, ये normal term है and we know this. ठीक है, who is going to be secured creditor and who is going to be borrower. ठीक है, no, मैं ज़्यादा डिटेलिंग में नहीं जा रही, but still we should know when this enforcement of security interest can happen. ठीक है, when this charge is taken by the secured creditor. Hi Rahul. Okay, so in this case, first line which I have written in my handwritten notes, ठीक है, which is no intervention of court or tribunal in enforcement by the security interest, which means कोई भी tribunal or कोई भी court is not going to be interfere between this case. Okay, but there are some cases they will interfere once the action is taken by the secured creditor, once the measure is taken by the secured creditor. Until unless no intervention of court or the tribunal is enforcement of security interest going to be happen. Okay, so yes, so by the way I have written the secured creditor is going to give a written notice to the borrower, but when and why? Once this borrower do not or unable to discharge his liability. Okay, within how many days? Within 60 days. Okay, so this could come in form of MCQ within 60 days. Yes, and what kind of discharge they are talking about, the liability they are talking about, whether once the borrower make any default in repayment of secured debt or any installment of the such account of borrower is going to be NPA. So when the borrower's account it's going to be NPA, we know this, we should know this. ठीक है, once this person, the borrower is unable to pay his debt installment to the secured creditor, है ना, and 90 days तक he didn't pay his liability, then that account is going to become the NPA. NPA का question आ चुका है already, अपने scanner में है. ठीक है, so once this part is done, ठीक है, then the secured creditor is going to give the notice to whom, is going to issue the notice to whom, to this borrower. Okay, 90 days हो चुका है. Okay, he doesn't discharge his liability, the borrower didn't go for discharging his liability. In that case, from that 90 days, once this 90 days is completed, the secured creditor is going to give notice, issue notice to borrower, and once that 60 days from issuing of notice is done, then this secured creditor can go for taking measure. ठीक है, until unless he cannot go for that. ठीक है, so this is what this section saying about. Once the asset of the secured borrower is became NPA, which means non-performing asset. MCQ के form में आ सकता है full form. Okay, then in that notice what is going to be mentioned, ठीक है, amount payable by borrower and full liability payable within 60 days from date of issue of notice. ठीक है, and if it is not done, again the measures can be done. We will read what are the measures, but before that let's read the secured creditor to be consider the representation or objection of the borrower. means once the notice is issued to the borrower can make a representation, okay, and that representation should be considered by the secured creditor, and if it is not accepted, हाँ जी okay, we will bring, okay, विल ब्रिंग MCQ सीरीज राहुल, ओके, लेटर ऑन, ओके। पहले एक बार अपन चैप्टर पढ़ लेते हैं ना, फिर लास्ट में आई ट्राई टू कवर दी प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन पेपर, इफ़ पॉसिबल मॉक टेस्ट, ठीक है, फिर हो सके तो MCQ गोना बी लास्ट, ठीक है। तो पहले दिस इज द सीक्वेंस, ओके। सो येस, सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट ही हैव टू, द borrower can make a representation, and if he made a representation of him, then this secured creditor should consider that representation, okay। And what if he haven't taken that representation or done any object, then it should be accepted. I mean, this should be communicated to the borrower with a reason, proper reason why he haven't accepted his representation, okay। So this is ऑल अबाउट अब तक, ठीक है। बट व्हाट आर द मेजर्स नाउ, ठीक है, इतनी लंबी चौड़ी कहानी तो पढ़ ली, बट व्हाट आर द मेजर्स विच कैन बी टेकन बाय द सिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर। ही कैन टेक अ पोजीशन, ओके, ऑफ वूम द बोरोवर्स, जो NPA बन चुका है, ओके, हाँ जी। फर्स्ट इज गोइंग टू बी टेकिंग अ पोजीशन, ओके। सेकेंड इज गोइंग टू टेकिंग ओवर द मैनेजमेंट, थर्ड टू अपॉइंट एनी पर्सन, और फोर्थ इज गोइंग टू बी एसेट चार्ज। So these are the four measures taken by the secured creditor on asset of the borrower, ठीक है जी, account of the borrowers, ठीक है। This was all about this section, but there are some provision exception saying about this. This is not going to apply for section 31. There are so many other points which is going to be covered in section 31, but let's read some point which is saying the provision of this shall not apply such cases as they are covered where the amount due is less than 20% of the principal amount and interest amount. If the amount is if it is not paid by the borrower to secured creditor, and the amount is actually less than 20% of the principal amount and the interest, then the measures cannot be taken by the secured creditor here, okay। And if the secured interest is created in the agriculture land, okay, so these are the exception. There are so many other exception also, some more 5-7 points, but why I have taken this point, because in previous CA questions, CA final attempt में questions इससे आए हैं, ठीक है। So this is about section 31, and we already covered section 13 which is of enforcement of security interest. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई, हाँ जी। So let's go for the other part guys, which is section 14, where the secured creditor can request in writing, everything should be in written guys, in written, to whom, to the chief metropolitan magistrate or a district magistrate, for what purpose, for taking possession or control of any secured asset, ठीक है। So let's go for the section 15, which is important section. What are the manner and effect of takeover of management? Here the you know what, there are the some right of secured creditor, he can go for that, ठीक है। Once you know NPA is declared, okay, then notice is given by him, okay, 60 days are passed, ठीक है। Then I said measures can be taken under section 13 of SARFAESI Act, right, ठीक है। So they were 4 measures, right, हाँ जी। याद करते रहना सब कुछ, जैसे जैसे मैं बोलूँ ना, सब चीज़ याद आ जानी चाहिए, okay, हाँ जी। But with that there would be some manners and effect of takeover of management. टेकर ऑफ मैनेजमेंट एक पॉइंट था ना उसमें से, मेजर्स ऑफ सिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर वाला वो है ना, बोरो वाला, हाँ जी। सो व्हाट आर दी मेजर एंड इफेक्ट टू टेक ओवर ऑफ द मैनेजमेंट? हियर द सिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर now have full right over his account of borrower's account, okay। He can appoint, if it is company, then the secured creditor can appoint any director, ठीक है, any director in case of borrower, in case of company, ठीक है, the borrower is company, in that case the secured creditor can appoint any director, ठीक है, okay। And second, to be administrator of business of borrower in any other case. अगर in case of company they are talking about, he can appoint the director. In case of any other thing, ठीक है, so that would be the administrator. So can you tell me कि other directors, what about the other director, other person who is having the key manager person, let's say, ठीक, what about them? The directors have to vacate office if there is already any contract between the management, between the company management and company directors and the company, that would be automatically terminated, Okay, so whether they can seek relief for this part, whether these director appointed, now what to do, whether we will get loss of compensation because it's not as per our will and they have removed us. No, they will not get any compensation in this case, and they will not get any relief here. Okay, so this is what they are talking about. They can appoint director in case of company and in case of an administrator in any other case. Okay, what are the consequences? As I told you, if there is any contract between the management and the director, that is going to be invalid. Okay, and terminate हो जाएंगे और vacate हो जाएंगे director and all. So this is all about this part, and this is important question आया है. So let me read quickly what is the consequences of the publication of notice. All the person holding office as a director of the company or all the person having power of superintendent direction and control shall have to be vacate their office. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई? हाँ जी. Any contract of management between the borrower and any director of the management shall be terminated. All the properties of the business of borrower shall be deemed to be custody in director or the administrator, because yes, all the power and the right is given to the director and the administrator who was appointed by secured creditor. ठीक है. So the custody will be in hand of whom? Definitely the administrator and the director. Okay, yes, the director or the administrator appointed by secured creditor shall take all steps as may be necessary to take into custody, which is related to this part. Yes, and the director or the administrator appointed by secured shall alone to be entitled all the exercise, all the power of the business of borrower. So C D E point A की चीज़ बता रही है ना, उसको थोड़ा सा और elaborate कर दिया. That's it. And one major part is certain right of shareholders suspended in case of takeover of the management. They cannot, the existing director जो already director थे company के, they cannot nominate any other person. ठीक है. If they are going for any proceeding of winding up, they would be invalid. They cannot pass any resolution without the consent of director and administrator. ठीक है. So for passing or for like it should be approved by secured creditor and all. ठीक है. So they cannot go for this. So let me read the certain right of shareholder suspended in case of takeover of the management. The shareholder of the company or any other person cannot nominate or appoint person to be director of the company. No resolution passed at a meeting of shareholder of such company shall give unless approved by the secured creditor, and no proceeding of the winding up. So these were all about this section, and this section is really important. And what about the compensation? I already told you as per section 16, no compensation to be to director for the loss of section. ठीक है. This is all about this part. Now question 17 से आया है, market important guys. Application against measure to recover secured debt. So as I told you in the very first line of section 13, go back and let's see again. ठीक है. section 13 में let's see, no intervention of court or tribunal in case of enforcement of security interest. Now they are saying कि for the relief they can go for security debt tribunal. Is it possible? Is it possible once they have said कि the court and tribunal or any other appellate tribunal cannot interfere, and now they are saying they can go for the relief? Yes, they were saying before taking the measure they cannot go for, ठीक है, for the relief, for the appeal to tribunal. But once the measure is done, measure कौन से थे? टेक ओवर ऑफ मैनेजमेंट, अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ पर्सन है, एनी पर्सन में क्या आएंगे, एनी पर्सन में क्या आएंगे? रिमेंबर डायरेक्टर है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, हाँ जी, एंड एसेट चार्ज के केस में. ओके, सो once these measures are taken by the secured creditor, then only application can be done against the measure which was taken by the secured creditor. So application to be filed with whom? ठीक है. MCQ इसमें आया है. ओके, एनी पर्सन एग्री बाय द मेजर टेकन बाय सेक्योर क्रेडिटर में अप्लाई फॉर डेब्ट ट्रिब्यूनल, डेब्ट रिकवरी ट्रिब्यूनल. सो DRT within how much days? Within 45 days from when? From the measures has been taken. इतनी बात समझ लो. So what the application should be disposed of by the debt tribunal, debt recovery tribunal within 60 days, and this 60 days can be extended for the more 60 days. So under section 70, the borrower can go for the relief ठीक है, फाइल एन एप्लीकेशन विद वूम DRT डेट रिकवरी ट्रिब्यूनल, ठीक है, MCQ आया है विद इन हाउ मेनी डेज, which was 45 days. Okay, what if the order, the final order by the debt recovery tribunal was not in favor of the borrower? Can they again go for the relief to any other authority? Yes. Under section 18 they are saying that appeal they can go for appeal to appellate tribunal within how many days? Now they are saying within 30 days from the receipt of order of debt. Let me tell you, this was also in form of MCQ, है ना? So you have to mark this. Earlier in case of DRT it was 45, now in case of this it's going to be 30 days. Okay, जी हाँ. But there is one more point guys, इसमें से question भी आया है, so please mark it, is important. Deposition of 50% of amount before filing appeal. Yes, so the borrower have to file 50% of the amount. 50% of amount मतलब जो कि already which have to pay to the secured creditor, which is a huge amount ना. हाँ, so whether they can get any relief in reduction in amount of this percentage, yes, they can get that up to 25%. But if the appellate tribunal is satisfied, then only, ठीक है, हाँ जी. So there should be some special reason for this. This was all about section 18. Same appeal can be done to High Court, but these are some cases for the state of Jammu and Kashmir and all, ठीक है. So yes, in case of like for the normal state person can go and appeal appellate tribunal, ठीक है, when they won't get, they were not satisfied by the final order of tribunal, debt recovery tribunal, ठीक है, हाँ जी. So in the state, in case of Jammu and Kashmir, they can go for the High Court within same thing, 30 days. Okay, हाँ जी, same thing, they have to deposit the amount which is 50%. Okay, and is there whether they are going to get any relief? Yes, 25% can be possible, but there should be some special reason. This was all about this section. Let's go for section 31. As I told you, section 31 अपन ने कहीं पढ़ा है क्या? हाँ जी, अभी तो पढ़ा था थोड़ी देर पहले. अपन ने 2 पॉइंट कवर किए थे उसके, which was वो एग्रीकल्चर लैंड वाला, राइट? 20% से कम हो प्रिंसिपल एंड इंटरेस्ट, रिमेंबर? हाँ जी. So let's continue with this part guys. एक बार रीडिंग लगा लेना, ठीक है. सो प्रोविजन ऑफ दिस एक्ट इज नॉट गोइंग टू अप्लाई इन सम केसेस एज पर सेक्शन 31 विच सेज अबाउट द अ लीन ऑन एनी गुड मनी सिक्योरिटी गिवन बाय और अंडर द इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट, ठीक है. एंड सेकेंड सेज अ प्लेज ऑफ मूवेबल within the meaning of section 172 of Indian Contract Act. Third says about the creation of the security in any aircraft, and D says about the creation of security interest in which is related to vessel. Fifth, any right of unpaid seller which is related to Goods Wale Act 1930. And sixth says about the any property not liable to attachment excluding the property specially charged with the debt recovery under this act. And then further this point, which is a security interest for the securing repayment of financial asset shall not exceed 1 lakh. Okay, and this two I already covered. So let's go for the other part, acquisition of right of interest in the financial asset. So any asset reconstruction company may acquire the financial asset of any bank or financial institution by issuing debenture. Second, by entering into agreement. This is all about this section, ठीक है. Let's go for section 6 where the notice should be issued to whom? To notice to borrow and discharge of obligations of such borrower should be issued to whom? To the borrower, to the guarantor and to the registered authority. This may come in form of MCQ guys, कि who are the parties. The bank of institution may give a notice of acquisition of financial asset as said by the ARC, which is asset reconstruction company. So the notice should be given to borrower, guarantor and registering authority. This is in form of MCQ II. Okay, let's go for 7th section, which is issue of security by raising of raising of receipt of fund by asset reconstruction company. So once the ARC after acquiring of any financial asset, ठीक है, what they are going to do? They are going to issue the security. Now how they are going to raise the security and to whom they are going to raise the security? To qualified buyers, okay, and to any other categories of investors, including the non-institutional investors and all. Okay, so this is key. Once this is acquired by ARC, now they are going to issue the security to whom? Two parties, the qualified buyers and to the other categories of investors. ठीक है, now ये वाला question, ये जो second वाला part है, raising of fund by the reconstruction asset reconstruction company by formulating scheme, you have to read, let me read it. Okay, you have to keep these things in mind. That asset, this is asset reconstruction company may fund from the qualified buyer by formulating scheme for acquiring the financial asset. ये अपन को पता चल गया. Second, such company shall keep and maintain a separate and distinct account in respect of each such scheme for every financial asset acquired out of investment made by the qualified buyer. So they have to keep a separate account for this. ठीक है, and such company shall ensure that the realization of the financial asset is held and applied to assumption of investment and payment of the short of such investment under the relevant scheme. Okay, okay, and the consequence, what is going to be happen if non-release of financial asset taken place? In case of non-realization of financial asset qualified by holding not less than 75% MCQ, जी हाँ, of total value of the secured receipt issued under the scheme shall be entitled to meeting all the qualified buyers. Now let's go for the section 3, which is important. Section 3 और section 4 से भी question आए हैं. Okay, so market is important. What is, मतलब, is there any need for registration for the asset reconstruction company? हाँ जी, they have to get registered before doing this business. And by whom they are going to get the registration? By the RBI. Are there any provision for that to get registration? Yes, for at least for doing the business, first is going to be they should get registered under RBI. ठीक है. Second, for this they should have at least net fund of 2 crore rupees or any amount which is specified by RBI, whichever is higher. ठीक है, सो MCQ के फॉर्म में आ सकता है. हाँ जी, व्हाट आर द कंडीशन ऑफ ग्रांट ऑफ सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन? यू हैव टू कीप दीज कंडीशन इन योर माइंड बिकॉज क्वेश्चन आया है गाइज. सो सच कंपनी हैज़ नॉट इंकर्ड लॉस फॉर 3 previous preceding financial year. ठीक है, if they have, so they cannot go for this job, this business, and they won't be get registration definitely. Such company has made arrangement of realization of financial asset, जो कि अपन already पिछले section में पढ़ा था कि है ना, कि they should make a arrangement of realization of financial asset which is acquired by shall be and pay periodical return and redeem on respective due date investment made in such company by the qualified buyers, which we already read. Okay, okay, and the director should be educated and have special financial expertise and all. ठीक है, and they should not be convicted by any moral turpitude and all. Okay. Yes, then that the sponsor of asset reconstruction company is a fit and a proper person according to the criteria which is specified by Reserve Bank of India. And last, such company has compiled and सब कुछ सही है. इफ़ यू डोंट नो व्हाट शुड यू राइट इन दिस पार्ट, ठीक है, फर्स्ट पार्ट विल बी ऑलवेज कि देयर वुड बी सम नॉर्म्स एंड कंडीशन, दे हैव टू फॉलो दैट नॉर्म एंड कंडीशन. ठीक है, दे हैव टू मेंटेन द अकाउंट. ठीक है, दे हैव टू प्रिपेयर द रियलाइजेशन ऑफ फाइनेंशियल एसेट फंड्स एंड ऑल. ठीक है, एंड देन व्हाट लॉसेस. ठीक है, एंड डायरेक्टर वाला जो नॉर्मल है, हर चीज़ में अपन लिखते हैं ना, सो द डायरेक्टर शुड हैव द एक्सपर्टीज एंड ऑल. ठीक है, सो यू ट्राई टू रिमेंबर दीज by this. If you're unable to get the language of law, if you don't understand language of law, तो try to don't complex it. ठीक है, try to write in your own language, है ना, कोई बात नहीं आता, you'll get the marks. Now I'm going to tell you, this was in form of MCQ asked in previous attempt. What if any substantial change happen? Whether the asset reconstruction company have to inform the RBI? Yes, they have to. Okay, and what is now this substantial change in management, merger हो गया, amalgamation हो गया, और takeover हो गया, और change in any shareholding pattern or amendment, alteration in MOA, AOA. ठीक है, so they have to inform which also include the substantial change also include, and question भी आया है यहाँ से, don't worry, okay, which include the appointment of director and all board of directors and all, ठीक है. So they have to inform the RBI about this, okay. Let's go for last section, section 4. Again it's important, it's very important क्योंकि question आया है, which says cancellation of certificate of registration. हो सकता है क्या, क्यों नहीं हो सकता, कौन करेगा भैया, RBI करेगा. अच्छा, if they are not satisfied by the order which is finalized by the RBI, can the ARC, the Asset Reconstruction Company, can go and appeal somewhere? Think, because there was MCQ from this part, ठीक है. Yes, they can go, the aggrieved party can go and appeal to whom? To the central government. Within how much days, guys? Within 30 days from the communication and all, ठीक है, of cancellation of certificate. So let me read it easily. We know वैसे कि क्या क्या chances हो सकते हैं in case of cancellation of certificate of registration. Number first, if he ceases to carry on business, right? हाँ जी. If he receive or hold any investment, do not receive or hold any investment from qualified buyers, has failed to comply with the condition which was specified by RBI, ठीक है, have not followed any guidelines, ठीक है, and have not maintained any books of accounts, ठीक है, or have not cooperated with the inspection which was done by the RBI and all, okay. So these are the major part. हाँ, with that substantial change हुआ है, you have to inform, ठीक है. maintain book हो गया, inspection हो गया, ठीक है, comply with the direction issued by RBI. This was all about this part. Last में they have saying कि they can prefer for the appeal to CG within 30 days, ठीक है, and opportunity of being heard is given. This was all about this SARFAESI wala chapter. Let's go for the scanner. Please open your scanner, guys. I am having scanner of 2024 December attempt. Okay, so I'm going to tell you important question. सारे important question है, वैसे सब कुछ important होता है. Nothing is like not important. But let me highlight some questions, ठीक है, which now we know what is the meaning of non-performing asset. There is a simple question which is being asked, what is non-performing asset, what is qualified buyers, what is securitization, okay. So you have to read it also, okay. So I'm going for the question number, hope so you guys are having scanner with you, right? If not, please send the photograph of this in Telegram channel, guys, है ना, कोई भी एक भेज दीजिएगा. Okay, so I'm going with the question, guys. December 2023, the page number is of my scanner, which is related to December 2024 attempt. So this is 13.374. Okay, I'm saying again the question number, question December attempt ka 2023. So I'm reading the question, guys, which this question I have not covered in my notes, ठीक है. So this is also important. These are the basically measures, ठीक है. An asset reconstruction company may for the purpose for the asset reconstruction provide for one or more of the measure, elucidate that measure to be taken for the asset reconstruction. So the what are going to be measure? अच्छा, अपन ने पढ़ा है, security of interest वाले में पढ़ा है, section 13 वाले में पढ़ा है, ठीक है. सो वो तो इसमें आएगा ही आएगा. उसमें क्या क्या थे सिक्योरिटी ऑफ इंटरेस्ट में, डू यू रिमेंबर, अपॉइंटमेंट, टेक ओवर, है ना, वो सारे इसमें लिखना है. विद दैट वी हैव मोर few more points which we have to write, ठीक है. सो नंबर फर्स्ट इज अबाउट द प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट ऑफ द बिजनेस ऑफ बोरोवर, ठीक है. सेकेंड, द सेल और लीज और एनी पार्ट ऑफ वोल ऑफ बिजनेस ऑफ द बोरोवर. थर्ड, rescheduling of payment of debt payable by borrower. Then enforcement of security interest, now we know है ना, section 13, हाँ जी हाँ. Settlement of dues payable by borrower. Then taking possession of secured asset, yes ये भी उसमें covered था. Conversion of any portion of debt into share of the borrower company. This was all about this part. Let's go for the another question, which is of 13.375. Guys, as I told you, section 15 कौन सा था, remember वो appointment वाला, appointment कौन, directors, borrower administrator, हाँ जी वही, and termination of the contract between directors and management of the company if there is any contract between them, ठीक है. So this is all about section 15. There is a question of December 2019. Go for it. If I'm I'm telling you anything with section, so try to remember the section with the name, ठीक है. And how we are going to start the answers. Let me say it, okay. I'm talking about December 2019 question. Page number is 13.375. I'm just reading the answer here, okay. This was about which is related to section 19. So I'm just reading the first 3 lines. Management of borrower taken by the secured creditor under section 915 of SARFAESI Act 2002. Okay, where the management of the business of the borrower being a company is taken over by the secured creditor, then notwithstanding anything contained in this act or in memorandum or article of such borrower again can nominate, राइट वही वाला चीज़ है जो अपने को आता है. सो यू हैव टू राइट इट. वी नो एवरीथिंग बट कई बार क्या होता है ना, वी आर अनएबल टू राइट इट. सो यू हैव टू रीड दिस क्वेश्चंस एंड देन आंसर, देन ओनली you will able to write the answers. Okay, let's go for one question now, guys, which is of December 2021. 13.376 is going to be the page. ठीक है. So I'm reading. Perpetual Limited is an asset reconstruction company. ठीक है ना. अब मेजर्स याद कर लेना चाहिए. हो सकता है कैंसिलेशन के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं. कैंसिलेशन है तो रजिस्ट्रेशन है तो सेक्शन कौन सा था, कैंसिलेशन है तो सेक्शन कौन सा था. यू whenever you are going to read the question, तो ना सेक्शन यहाँ पे आ जाना है पहले ही, है ना. अगर नहीं है ना तो बहुत गलत पढ़ाई कर रहे हो. ओके, चलो पढ़ते हैं. सो ड्यूरिंग द फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2020-21, मिस्टर परम, वन ऑफ द डायरेक्टर ऑफ द कंपनी, इज इन अर्जेंट नीड और मनी ट्रांसफर 10% ऑफ हिज शेयर होल्डिंग. 10% of shareholding. So is it going to be about the substantial change? हाँ जी, हाँ, because he has transferred his 10% of holding to Mr. Sharif, another director of the company, which increased Mr. Sharif shareholding to 20%. ठीक है. अच्छा, so what the company have to inform to RBI, right? है ना. If not, what is going to be happen? Cancellation of registration हो जाएगा under section 4 of SARFAESI Act 2002. ठीक है. हाँ जी, ये भी समझ में आ गया. सो वेदर दे कैन गो फॉर एनी अपील इन फर्दर 30 days के अंदर अंदर दे कैन गो फॉर टू whom? To central government. Opportunity of being heard is given, है ना. Whenever you are reading the question, every provision should come here. ठीक है. नहीं है ना, अभी मैं बोल रही हूँ बहुत गलत पढ़ाई कर रही हूँ. Okay, let's continue. Perpetuals Limited also appoint Mr. Vikram as CEO. They cannot appoint, you know, for the managing the overall operation and the resources of the company. However, for said purpose, okay, this was a Perpetual Limited is ABC, they can, हाँ जी. So Perpetual Limited did not take approval from the RBI. They are saying this. RBI cancelled the certificate of register granting to Perpetual Limited. Perpetual Limited contended that the decision of RBI is inappropriate. Do you think it's going to be inappropriate? No way. As a transfer of shareholding and appointment of CEO is not substantial change in management. First of all, you should know what is the substantial change. So you have to write the definition of substantial change along with the answers. ठीक है. So which also include transfer of share. Here the shareholder director have already transferred, so which include the substantial change. And if the company is going for substantial change, then they have to take the prior approval from the RBI. They cannot go for that. Okay. And section कौन सा था, याद करो. हाँ जी. So under section 3 है ना, हाँ, of SARFAESI Act 2002, every ARC shall take prior approval from RBI for any substantial change in his management, including appointment of any director on board of director of the ARC or managing director or CEO, therefore, or change or location of the register office or the change in its name. ठीक है. Provided that the decision of the RBI whether the change in management of securitization company or reconstruction company substantial change is in management or not shall be final. In this given case, there has been change in shareholding of director which fall under the substantial change. Yes, in the management including the appointment of CEO and the decision of the RBI as whether the change of management of the asset reconstruction company substantial is management or not shall be final. So hence the decision of RBI shall be final and will be held valid. But whether they can seek for the appeal, अगर इसमें पूछा गया then yes they can. ठीक है. For to whom? to the central government, but for the substantial change whether they can go for is another question for you. Okay, so this was all about the SARFAESI chapter. Let's go for RBI guys. I'm going to tell you बहुत ही easy version, इसी में continuation है RBI का, you'll get the जो SARFAESI का note है ना उसी में continuation है. So let's read it guys. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल MCQ के फॉर्म में क्या आ सकता है? MCQ के फॉर्म में आ सकता है आई एम जस्ट सेइंग, ठीक है, कि सेंट्रल विच इज़ द सेंट्रल बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, दैट इज़ RBI, है ना, नॉट एनी अदर, है ना. सो यू हैव टू कीप दिस. वो विच इज़ बेटर, CMA और CA? अरे बोथ आर बेटर, क्या बात कर रहे हो, दोनों अपनी जगह बहुत बेस्ट है ना. पढ़ाई करो, है ना, तब पता चलेगा, दोनों अच्छे हैं गाइस, ठीक है. उस पर मैं एक अलग वीडियो बनाऊंगी. ओके, सो अभी अपन पढ़ लेते हैं. सो फॉर द MCQ पर्पस वी कैन टॉक who is the central bank of India? RBI. Okay, now let's go for the page number guys, 18, which is objective of RBI. So primary, there are some I have actually divided the objective into different parts. There, like you can see, primary objective, fundamental objective, supervisory function, other function of RBI, and yes, bas ठीक है. So I have actually divided into the objective into different field. But when the question come simple सा part कि what are the objective, you can write it easily. मतलब you can pick up from any head. ऐसा नहीं है, you have to write from primary objective or supervisory objective and all, ठीक है. So you can write it. So let me read it. First of all, what is going to be the primary objective? What is objective of the RBI? Let me say, ठीक है, they are saying issue of, मैं तरीका बता रही हूँ how you can remember this, ठीक है. Addressing the issue of bank note, ठीक है. दी RBI इज गोइंग टू डिज़ाइन दी बैंक, मतलब वो जो नोट्स होते हैं ना अपनी करेंसी, ठीक है. सो द RBI डिज़ाइन दैट. ओके, सो हेयर दी एड्रेसिंग द इशू ऑफ नोट, विद दैट आई एम टेलिंग यू टू ऑपरेट द करेंसी इन कंट्री to its own advantage. This is the point 1 to 3, fourth point here, ठीक है. With that they do the monetary stability, they control the monetary stability in our country. Okay, so I have already told which is related to currency. First, they address the issue of bank note. Second, they operate the currency in our country for the advantage. Yes, monetary stability. With this, there is one more point, credit system, ठीक है, which operate the credit system in India. Okay. So whether they get influenced by, means said hi Rahul. So yes, so with that, is there any independence from the political influence? Yes, the decision of RBI is not depend upon the political influence of any political party. So the primary objective is about the issuance of bank note. Second, maintaining of monetary stability, controlling the monetary stability in the economy with there's some other measure, ठीक है, qualitative measures, quantitative measures. So I'll tell you, don't worry guys. Operate the credit function, operate the currency in the country, and last, they are independent from the political influence. Let's go for the fundamental objective, that the bank of it's bank of all commercial bank, ठीक है. पर ये कैसा, वी विल रीड इट, डोंट वरी, ठीक है. एंड ओनली ऑथराइज हु हैज़ नोट इशूइंग, डेफिनेटली विच इज रिलेटेड टू बैंक नोट वाला, है ना. दे आर सिंपली सेइंग ओनली ऑथराइज टू अथॉरिटी हु हैज़ नोट इशूइंग, दैट इज वो दी RBI, ठीक है. एंड बैंक टू द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. Now what is going to be the supervision function of the RBI? They grant license to banking company. If the banking company want to operate their business and also they have to take prior approval, definitely registration from whom? From the RBI. Okay, they do the inspection. With that, they do the inspection of book of accounts of the bank. Okay, and they appoint for that, ठीक है. They appoint people, officer, directors and all for that. Implement deposit insurance scheme and control the non-banking financial institution. So अब तक अगर मैं मोटा मोटी बात करूँ, वो आर what is going to be the objective, let me remind it, है ना. issue of bank note, ठीक है, monetary stability, ठीक है, currency वाला, ठीक है, control the credit system. okay जी हाँ, ठीक है. and what are they saying for the for issuing the license? हाँ जी हाँ, the inspection of book of accounts of bank. Okay, and with that this the non banking financial institution को भी they are going to control. Okay, हाँ जी. So this is what about the functions, all over functions. ठीक है, कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा लिख के आ जाना. Don't go for the topic wise or the name wise, the primary, the functional, the supervision and all. ठीक है, and what are the other function of RBI? Issue of currency. But against what? Against gold, exchange bill and government bond. And sometimes they play the role of banker to other bank. Question आ सकता है. Simple पूछेंगे. How the RBI is going to play the role of what? Banker to bankers, other banks. So RBI control all the bank in India and regulate guidelines which is given by RBI to all, which is to be followed by other bank. If they are not following that, then their registration would be cancelled. सीधी बात, no bakwas. So with that they also provide loan to bank when the bank need that. ठीक है, you know what, every bank have to maintain the marginal cash and whether in form of cash or gold liquidity and all. ठीक है, they have to maintain that marginal maintenance उनको करना पड़ता है. If they are not doing it, then again there would be some consequences. Okay, so yes, so this was all about this part. Let's continue this part. Bankers, agent and the financial advisor to the, they also play this role. ठीक है, transaction between central government and state government is conducted by whom? Is conducted by RBI. ठीक है, ये MCQ आ सकता है, हाँ जी आ सकता है. On behalf of government, RBI will tax payment and deposit, do this part also. And foreign transaction by government is also done by RBI. Okay, which means RBI is maintaining the foreign exchange reserve. When they are saying foreign transaction is done by whom? By the by government, is done by this, the RBI, then they have to maintain the foreign exchange reserve. ठीक है, which give financial advice to government also. तो RBI का बहुत बड़ा रोल है अपने यहाँ. ठीक है, now what is they are also into exchange rate management which is related to foreign exchange. ठीक है, तो चीज़ों को ना थोड़ा रिमेंबर करने का तरीका याद रखो. when they are saying कि foreign transaction by government is done by RBI, for definitely they are going to maintain foreign reserve, है ना. For that they have to go for the exchange rate management, so they are also into this, है ना. So this is the way where you can remember the point by coordinating each and everything. Okay, now credit control, with that they are also into credit control. But credit control कैसे करेंगे वो? There are some other form of like cash reserve ratio, statutory liquidity ratio and all. ठीक है, so it help in money supply and help in the control of inflation by different tool, by cash reserve ratio, bank rate. I'll tell you, don't worry, मैं सब कुछ बताऊंगी इसमें. ठीक है, promotional development and function of RBI is also done. नाबार्ड का नाम सुना है क्या? हाँ जी सुना ही होगा. एग्रीकल्चर के लिए there are some rural bank, you can say, for the agriculture which is in rural area. Okay, we can say village, है ना, for the promotional, like they don't get fund easily ना, तो government have initiative. Wow, what time are you online? Hi Khanak, I am online for about 7 to 9. Okay, so this is about the promotion of banking system. They also do this. Okay, and the data connection and publication of report is also done by RBI, where RBI collect the information which is related to inflation, interest rate and the saving, and which is to be published weekly and annual report. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. तो लेट मी से व्हाट आर द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ RBI, है ना. आई विल बी वेरी क्विक गाइस, एंड ये क्वेश्चन आया है, सो प्लीज मार्क इट इम्पॉर्टेंट. सो लेट्स रिवाइंड इट. ठीक है, एड्रेसिंग इशू ऑफ बैंक नोट. एड्रेसिंग इशू ऑफ बैंक नोट से रिलेटेड कौन सा वाला पॉइंट है? इट्स गोइंग टू बी ऑपरेट द करेंसी एंड मॉनेटरी स्टेबिलिटी. याद आया. एंड फंडामेंटल में भी ऑल्सो देयर वाज समथिंग विच वाज सेइंग ओनली अथॉरिटी वो हैज राइट टू नोट इशू. ठीक है, वो हैव राइट टू गो फॉर व्हाट? इशूइंग ऑफ नोट. ठीक है, नोट्स, पैसे की बात कर रहे हैं. हाँ जी, लेट्स गो फॉर द अदर टू ऑपरेट द क्रेडिट सिस्टम. येस, एंड व्हाट आर द अदर मेजर फंक्शन? दे ऑल्सो लेंड मनी टू द बैंक, है ना. दे ऑल्सो गिव एडवाइस, फाइनेंशियल एडवाइसेस टू द बैंक. ठीक है, एंड दे कंट्रोल मॉनेटरी स्टेबिलिटी विच वी ऑलरेडी रेड. द फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट, राइट. बट उसके लिए व्हाट दे हैव टू डू कि वॉट एवर द फॉरेन ट्रांजेक्शन डज बिटवीन द गवर्नमेंट एंड द कंट्री ऑफ अदर्स, दे are managed by whom? By the RBI. Okay, and they are with that managing foreign exchange reserve and foreign exchange transaction. Everything is actually maintained by the RBI. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई? हाँ जी. So what about this? They are also controlling the non-banking financial institution. Okay, and they also play the role of bank to other bank. Okay. So this was the main part, I can say. They are also into credit control. क्रेडिट कंट्रोल कैसे है भैया? कैश रिजर्व रेशो, स्टैट्यूटरी लिक्विडिटी रेशो, बैंक रेट, ओपन मार्केट विच इज गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज. Don't worry, I'll tell you each and everything. Okay, so this was all about the major objective of the RBI. क्वेश्चन सिंपल आ जाएगा, व्हाट इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव. ठीक है, इतना लिख के आ जाओ ना, बहुत बढ़िया. ओके, now let's go for the some of the money control where the RBI can control the money supply in economy. But how? There are two measures. One is going to be the qualitative measure and second is going to be quantitative measure. So what is the quantitative measure? I am going to tell you. ठीक है, first bank rate, second repo rate, third is going to be CRR which is cash reserve ratio, and SLR statutory liquidity ratio, and then last open market operation. So let's get into this, guys. Bank rate is what? Rate at which RBI is providing loan to commercial bank. Okay, चलो ठीक. So let me go to the repo rate where rate at which RBI provide loan to commercial bank. Array, now these things are same. The bank rate and the repo rate is same now. As they are providing the rate at which the RBI is providing loan to commercial bank. So what is the difference? There is a difference of term. The bank rate is done for the long term and the repo rate is done for the short term. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई? हाँ जी, बिल्कुल समझ में आ गई. Okay, let's go for the CRR. Some ratio of deposit is to be kept by commercial bank with RBI. है ना? So there are some ratio reserve which is to be maintained, which is to be kept with RBI, and every bank, it applies to every bank and every bank have to do that. So what is the ratio here? MCQ आया है guys. So MCQ 3 to 15% is they have to maintain the CRR. So what about the SLR? What is SLR? Statutory liquidity ratio where the commercial bank have to maintain minimum percentage with them. ठीक है, early it was cash reserve, ठीक है, which they have to reserve, they have to maintain the cash in form of cash. But now SLR, they have to maintain the minimum percentage in form of cash and gold. ठीक है, इतनी बात समझ में आ गई? हाँ जी. Which help in control the money flow. But how they are going to control the money flow? ये तो समझ में आ गया कि you are saying कि they have to maintain some percentage of cash and gold, or sometimes it's related to the CRR and all, deposits and all. ठीक है, but how they are going to control is going to be the next question. If the answer is just below. If RBI increase limit, then the commercial bank have to increase a minimum percentage of the reserve, which ultimately reduce the loan and reduce the money flow in the economy. This is how the money flow is controlled in case of inflation and all. And they want to release money, they want कि लोग loan ले, तो what they are going to do? They release it. It's going to be मतलब vice versa, it's going to be happen. ठीक है, they don't control it, they will release it. ठीक है, okay. What about the open market operation? They are the government securities which is openly done to reduce money flow in the economy, and RBI issue government bond for this, and the commercial bank will purchase a government bond. What is quantitative? This was all about the quantitative. Let's go for the qualitative measure. Rationing of credit. With the RBI rationing of credit, थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगाते हैं. Where the RBI fix a maximum credit any bank can give to any person. ठीक है, for the commercial bank I'm talking about. So this is going to maximum credit. Every bank cannot go beyond that. ठीक है, and you can see, let's go for the marginal requirement. I'll tell you then later on. What is marginal amount? A marginal amount is kept by the commercial bank. The full amount of loan is never given. Okay, most of you have seen the loan procedure and all. You know this part also. Okay, when we are going for the loan when we go for bank, so they don't provide the full amount. For example, I want loan of 5 lakh. ठीक है, I have no money but I have gold, so I have kept my gold with them. Okay, and for that, like if I want 5 lakh loan for that, so I have to keep some specified amount of loan with them, like let's say like 3 lakh or something. ठीक है, 3 lakh to 4 lakh. Okay, of they are going to grant me the loan amount of that percentage of what I have given in return for the amount. Okay, so let's take 70 to 75% or 50, it's going to be between 50 to 70%. Okay, they don't give you or grant you the full amount of loan here. Okay, so they will like give me approx 3 lakh or 3 to 50,000. ठीक है, 3,50,000 they won't, the limit is not going to exceed there. ठीक है, so full amount I will never get, and if I am taking loan I have to keep some security है ना in return, then only I'll get the amount. Okay, this was about the marginal requirement. And moral suasion is what, where the policies is issued by the RBI to control the money policies and all. Okay, so this was a qualitative and earlier was of the quantitative, which was rationing of credit. Maximum credit, guys, is about rationing of credit. Second, the marginal requirement is what, the maximum amount kept by the commercial bank. The full amount of loan is never given, and this is decided by again RBI. And the moral suasion is which, what, the issuing of policies. Let's go for the important which is the role of RBI of India. ये क्वेश्चन आया है, ठीक है. सो आई एम गोइंग टू रीड वन बाय वन. अर्लियर आई वाज थिंकिंग आई एम जस्ट गोइंग फॉर द टाइटल, बट आई थिंक आई शुड रीड बिकॉज हो सकता है ये बिल्कुल एग्जैक्टली आ जाए. एंड द अनदर पार्ट विच इज़ द रोल ऑफ सेंट्रल बैंक ऑफ इंडिया एंड फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मैनेजमेंट ऑल्सो कम इन एग्जाम. ठीक है, सो लेट मी रीड इट गाइज. व्हाट इज़ द रोल ऑफ रिजर्व? आई लाइक योर वे ऑफ टीचिंग. थैंक यू सो मच खनक. ओके, so the role of Reserve Bank of India, it is a charge of deciding on the country's monetary policy, where the RBI primary responsibility is to preserve financial stability and appropriate liquidity in economy. Some of the financial function of the RBI are mentioned and explained below, which is monetary management. Monetary management कैसे होगा रे भैया? Monetary management अपन already पढ़ चुके हैं ना. They are going to control with the different quantitative and qualitative measures. Remember? हाँ जी. The formulation and the stimulus execution of the monetary policy are one of the RBI as India's main responsibility. Various policy instruments are used by the monetary policy to impact the cost and availability of money in the economy. The goal remains to encourage the economic growth while maintaining price stability. It ensures a steady supply of credit to the economic productive sector. Second, issue of currency. Okay, with everything, issue of currency is done by the RBI. The note design is done by RBI. Okay, so this part is done by definitely RBI. RBI के पास बहुत काम है. Okay, the currency management and the issuance are the critical central banking function. The RBI is in charge of country's currency design, manufacture, distribution, and overall management. It aims to ensure that the state has sufficient supply of clean and legitimate note in the economy in the country. Its goals is to lower the risk of counterfeiting. Counterfeit notes are frequently used for the terrorist financing, which has a variety of negative consequences. Corruption, terrorism, ये सब promote कराते हैं ये चीज़ें. तो that's why there is a strict guidelines which is followed by RBI, and that which is made by RBI definitely, and which is to be followed by other bank also. अच्छा, have you seen कहीं बार क्या होता है कि आपने देखा होगा कि ATM से चोरी हो जाती है ना, कि डाका डाल देते हैं कोई, है ना. तो देयर इज़ अ सीक्वेंस ऑफ द इन एवरी नोट, है ना. और अगर बाई चांस जिसने चोरी की वो ही उसको यूज़ कर रहा है, एंड ही इज़ यूजिंग ही इज़ परचेजिंग एंड ही यूज वाइल शॉपिंग दैट कैश, है ना. सो दैट पर्सन कैन बी इजीली ट्रेस्ड with that sequence of which is written in notes. ठीक है, so this is also one way where one can be caught. Okay, so this is why they are saying counterfeit notes are frequently used in terrorist and financing and all. ठीक है. Okay, let's go for the other. Banker and the debt manager of the country of the government. Sorry. the RBI is in charge of government banking transaction. RBI's India's also hold the cash holding of Indian government. It can also serve as a lender to state government. It appoint other bank to act as agent in carrying out the government transaction on behalf of the federal and the state government. It also manage the public debt and offer the new loan. Now let's go for the bankers to bank. RBI is also responsible for settlement of interbank transaction. This is normally accomplished through the employment of cleaning a house, which allows bank to present check and other similar instrument for cleaning. The central bank serve as the common banker for all the banks. ओके एंड फाइनेंशियल रेगुलेशन एंड सुपरविजन जो कि अपन ऑलरेडी पढ़ चुके हैं, सब पढ़ चुके हैं अपन. द रेगुलेटरी एंड द supervisory power of the RBI extensive. Through a variety of policy initiative, it aims to ensure general financial stability. Its goal is to ensure the orderly development and the conduct of banking activities as well as bank liquidity and solvency. Same development role में भी वही करते हैं, इकोनॉमी के डेवलपमेंट के लिए वो चीज़ गाइडलाइंस भी फॉलो की जाती है. ओके, सो RBI actively support the encourage development country. It guarantees that the productive sectors of the economy have access to sufficient credit and establish organization to support the development of the financial infrastructure. It also tries to ensure that everyone has access to the banking services, even in every sector. Okay, this is also one of the thing which is done by RBI ki every banking facility is provided to every area of India, just to improve this also impact of the GDP of India for sure. Overseas management operation. The central bank implement its monetary policy through the government securities, foreign exchange and the money market operations. It also regulate and develop market infrastructure such as term money market, repo market and any other. And foreign exchange management. The foreign exchange management is regulated by the RBI. It is opened practically all area to international investment. So this was all about this part, guys. That what is the role of the Reserve Bank of India, even in form of any particular point can come in our exam, like what is this bankers to bank, what is this the last resort, who is known as the last resort, like the RBI. ठीक है, and who is providing fund to the commercial banks and all, who is providing the guidelines to the commercial bank and all. ठीक है, so these are the things which is the role and main importantly done by the RBI. Let's go for the function is same. जो I already told monetary policy, reserve bank, statutory liquidity ratio and repo rate. And what is this reserve repo rate? This is the reverse of repo rate. ठीक है, so you know repo rate, so that is going to be the reverse of repo rate. Okay, now let's go for the last point, role of central bank in the foreign exchange market. क्या क्या हो सकता है, क्या क्या हो सकता है फॉर द फॉरेन एक्सचेंज मार्केट. यू हैव टू थिंक गाइस. ठीक है, जब भी whenever we are reading question, I already told you सारी चीज़ें यहाँ पे आ जानी चाहिए, है ना. नहीं आ रही तो बहुत गलत चीज़ कर रहे हैं ना. हाँ जी. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दे ट्राई टू मेंटेन द इकोनॉमी stability. Yes, we know regulation, they keep on sending the guidelines and regulation and all to the bank and all. Okay, with that they inspect book of accounts of the ये, ठीक है, and they promote international trade. फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व मेंटेन करते हैं, रिमेंबर. हाँ जी. एंड दे ऑल्सो मैनेज एट द टाइम ऑफ क्राइसिस. They used to do this. So this is what the main role of central bank in the foreign exchange market. This was all about this part, guys. Let's go for the Banking Regulation Act 1949. With that we will do the RBI का question, है ना. वैसे तो अपन ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं, but let's see if we have time, we'll go for that. Okay, so let's do first the Banking Regulation Act 1949. So please open your PDF, guys, the Banking Regulation Act, which if you have not yet downloaded, you will get everything in my Telegram channel, and my Telegram channel's link is in my YouTube bio description. Okay, so I am going with the Banking Regulation Act 1949. हाँ जी. So you can start with just read section 6, okay, which is in page number 3, okay, which is normally what is business allowed for the banking company. Just read out all these things, okay? You have to just keep this thing in your mind. Let's go for section number 7, guys. Okay, where is section number 7, 8, 9? Okay, so they have some prohibition on trading of the banking, okay, as per Banking Regulation Act, and we are on page number 5. Okay, so what are the prohibition on trading of, as per section 8? They are saying कि bank they can't enter directly or indirectly deal with buying, selling or barter exchange of goods. Okay, ये तो बहुत नॉर्मल है, बट देर इज़ समथिंग विच इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट. एज पर सेक्शन 9 दे आर सेइंग डिस्पोजल ऑफ नॉन बैंकिंग एसेट. एंड मैं आपको बता दूँ, इससे रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन बहुत दफ़ा है. ओके, सो वी आर मार्क इट इम्पॉर्टेंट गाइस. लेट्स डू दिस पार्ट. व्हाट इज़ डिस्पोजल ऑफ नॉन बैंकिंग एसेट? Where bank cannot hold non-banking asset, okay, for more than 7 years. Okay, इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. Okay, but whether हाँ, one more thing, as per which is there is one more section connected. If question may come in like what is disposal of non-banking asset. So with the section 9 we have to quote section 6 also. Nothing is going to apply in case of section 6, but with that, if the banking company is using the asset for its own use, they can do, but not exceeding 7 years. Okay, so whether they can use the non-banking asset for more time period, yes, that the time period would be granted by RBI. If the RBI is satisfied that this is done for the interest of depositors, for surely they can grant the excess time of 5 years. Okay, this was all about section 9. ठीक है, क्वेश्चन आया है, we will do scanner question later on. ठीक है, let's go for section 10. Empowerment of management agent is prohibited. Just read it, है ना, ये इतना वो नहीं है कि there are some restriction, they can appoint some manager, they cannot appoint. ठीक है, you just have to read it, इतना वो नहीं है. Okay, let's go for section 10B and BB, which is banking company to be managed by full-time chairman. Okay, if a banking company think that they should be the full-time director or chairman, then they can appoint these people. But again, if they think कि this is just done for the banking purpose or interest of depositor, for the extra work of bank and all, ठीक है, proper functioning of bank and all, then only they can go for it. Which says the yes, the approval shall be for 5 years tenure. This is all about this part. ठीक है, so just read out, इसमें इतना ही दिया है. 10, section 10, whether this may come in form of like whether the banking company can appoint full-time director, chairman, and for how many time period, है ना, बस this much. section 10 में आप देख लीजिएगा. Okay, now let's go for the minimum paid up share capital and the reserve, which is to be maintained by every banking company under section 11. This is important, guys. ठीक है, if the in case of bank which is incorporated outside India, and in case hello Sandeep, so there are two part, ठीक है, where the bank have to maintain the minimum paid up share capital and reserve. There is some requirement, and how they are going to do. First of all, if the bank is incorporated outside India, ठीक है, and if the bank is incorporated in the India, so what are the minimum criteria for both the cases? Anamika, hello Anamika. Okay, so if it's incorporated outside India, the paid up share capital should be 15 lakh if they have no place of business in the Mumbai or Kolkata. So what is this place of business? अपने direct taxation में पढ़ा है भैया, ठीक है. What is this place of business? Place of business where the business is conducted in India, है ना. So if the incorporation of banking companies outside India, if they have no place of business in Mumbai or Kolkata, then the minimum paid up share capital with the reserve should be 15 lakh. Okay, what if they are having the place of business in Mumbai and Kolkata? In that case, that would be 20 lakh. Okay, इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. हाँ जी. So what's about the incorporation in India? Okay, where if let's read out, ठीक है, in case of banking company incorporated in India, the sum of paid up capital and the reserve shall not be less than, if it's having a place of business more than one state. Okay, in that case that is going to be 5 lakh. But if such a place such place of business is in Mumbai or Kolkata, then it's going to be 10 lakh. इतनी बात समझ लो. If it is incorporated in India, then it should be like 5 lakh or 10 lakh. 5 lakh तब होगा कब? When place of business is more than one state, but it's not in what? The Mumbai and Kolkata. But for what? If it is in Mumbai and Kolkata, the place of business is in Mumbai and Kolkata, what? It's going to be that 10%. कोलकाता, ठीक है, सॉरी 10% नहीं 10 लाख, ठीक है. सो एमसीक्यू के फॉर्म में आ सकता है गाइस. नाउ लेट्स गो फॉर द अदर पार्ट, द सेम कंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन इन इंडिया. ओके, where they are saying if it has all its place of business in one state other than Mumbai or Kolkata, then they have to maintain 1 lakh rupee in case of its principal business, principal place of business. With that 10,000 for each additional place of business. Okay, so minimum if the other than place of Mumbai and Kolkata they are having place of business, so minimum they have to mention 1 lakh. With that, if they are having any additional place of business, so that would be 25,000. Okay, this was all about this section, guys. If you you don't want to get into everything of this section, so just itna theek hai ma'am, you teach very well. Thank you so much, Anamika. Okay, okay. So this was all about this point, guys. And one more point, if that is in the place of business is in Mumbai and Kolkata, so the additional amount is going to be 25,000 rather than 10,000. Okay, तो इतनी बात समझ लो. Okay, if it is incorporated outside India, 15 lakh and 20 lakh. 15 lakh कब की किस में? When they have no place of business in Mumbai and Kolkata, and when they have the place of business in Mumbai and Kolkata, then it's going to be 20 lakh. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई? हाँ जी. What about the incorporation in India where the place of business is more than one state, ठीक है, it's going to be 5 lakh, but Mumbai, Kolkata, there is no other place of business in Mumbai, Kolkata. Okay, but what if they are having in Mumbai and Kolkata, then in that case it's going to be 10 lakh. Okay, what about the additional place? Okay, they are having a place of business but not in the state of Mumbai and Kolkata, but they also have the additional place. Okay, in that case 1 lakh plus 10,000. What about they have the place in Mumbai and Kolkata? 1 lakh plus 25,000. Okay, this was all about it. Okay, so let's go for the other section, guys, which is board of director, to include person with professional and other experience. Okay, page number 10. So every company which is not less than 51% of the total number of BOD shall have specialized knowledge of practical experience, and we all know Sanju Sani. Hi Sanju. Okay, so this is about the accountancy, agriculture, banking, finance, law, economy and industry. Okay, this is about this part where they have, ये बहुत normal है कि they should be expertise and in which area, these areas जो कि अपने common से ही related है. Okay, let's go for the reserve fund, which is important question come from this part usually. As per section 17, every banking company shall create a reserve fund out of earning after interest and tax. And what is going to be the percentage that the earning, the reserve fund and the security account should be at least what, 20%, right? That deposit should be what, 20%. But whether this can be like, they have to maintain this reserve, right? But whether they can decrease this reserve or they have to maintain all the time, let me say it, the reservation should be at least 20% of profit. ये अपने को पता है. But yes, it can be decreased or reduced or waived by the central government and all, ठीक है. But when the central government is satisfied, what if it is done in favor of interest of depositors, then for surely exemption can be granted. Okay, with that the reserve fund and security premium account should be more than the paid up share capital of the company. Okay, the question आया है, what is going to the reserve percentage? 20%. Okay, you have to keep in your mind. Let's go for the other part. जिसमें से MCQ आया, cash reserve should be at least 3% of the total demand and the time liability should be kept as a cash reserve or should be secured in the current account with the RBI. So this was in form of what, cash reserve. Let's go for the limiting the payment of dividend. So is there any something limitation which is related to? Yes, there is. Every banking company, guys, one more thing कि MCQ आया है यहाँ से. Every banking company provide from paying any dividend on its share unless it has completely written off the capitalized expenses. What is now capitalized expenses? like the preliminary expenses, the brokerage, the commission on the issue of shares should be completely written off. Then only they can go for what? The payment of dividend. Otherwise they cannot go for. So this was all about the section 15. Okay. Let's go for section 19. There are some of the restriction on nature of subsidiary company. Number 4, restriction on nature of subsidiary company except a subsidiary company formed for one or more undertaking of a business. Okay, okay, इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. They can go for this part. ठीक है, this is the exception. Otherwise they cannot go for any of another nature of business. First exception says about what? Undertaking of business. इतनी बात मुझे समझ में आ गई. Let's go for the other part where they want to carry business outside India. Yes, they can. ठीक है, but for that they have to take the approval from the RBI. And it should be in written. No oral permission is going to be granted here. You have to done everything in written, guys. Okay, so yes, carrying off of business outside India is allowed by the subsidiary company. For that the subsidiary company have to take the permission from the RBI in written. Okay, इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. Let's go for the other part where the undertaking of the other business is taken. It's done by the subsidiary company. So in this case also they have to take the prior permission from the central government which is in favor of public interest. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. हाँ जी. So this was all about this section 19 on the restriction on nature of the subsidiary company. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. हाँ जी. Let's go for the restriction on loan and advances. Important one, please mark. So no banking company under section 20 says grant any loan or advances on security of its own share, or they cannot enter into any commitment for granting any loan or advances to or behalf of any other directors, any firm in which any of its director is interested as a partner, manager, employee of the guarantor, any company any company not being a subsidiary of the banking company or a company registered under section 25 of the Companies Act 1956 of a government company, of which is subsidiary or a holding company, of which of the director of the banking is a director, managing director, manager and all. Okay, so basically they cannot go for what? They cannot enter into commitment of for granting any loans or advances on behalf of directors. Okay, any firm or any company or any individual in whom any of its director is a partner. Or Manu, nice, thank you Manu, keep learning. Okay, okay. And for the individual in respect of whom any of its director is a partner of a guarantor. So question आया है, सीधे सीधा question आया है guys. What is the restriction? What are the restriction on loan and advances? So as per section 20 we can simply say कि no banking company shall grant any loan or advances on security on its own share. ठीक है, this was the first point. Second, they cannot enter into any commitment for granting of any loan which is related to directors, okay, firm, company, where any individual in respect of whom any of its directors are partner or guarantor. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई ना. हाँ जी. So this was all about this section and it is important. Mark it is important if you have not marked it yet. Okay, so let's go for section 21. This is again the important question. Scanner में question simple आया हुआ है सीधा सीधा. What are the power of RBI to issue direction under this Banking Regulation Act? As per section 21. 20 was on restriction on loan. ठीक है. 21 is going to be the power of RBI to issue direction under. So what is going to be, थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगा लेते हैं कि first of all they should be the specification of advances, right? To specify the purpose of advances. Second, what are the maximum margins? Remember, maximum margin अपन पढ़ चुके हैं. Yes, and the amount which is maximum amount of loan which is going to be granted. Second, the maximum amount of guarantee, and the last rate of interest and other terms. So these are the major main power, let me say, which is related to issue of direction. Okay, so this which you have to keep in your mind, guys. This is damn important. Let's go for the license of banking company under section 22 and the page number is 17 now. Okay, I'm going for my handwritten part. Okay, so here no banking company can commence or carry on banking business in India unless it hold a license granted to it by RBI. ये अपने को पता है. Okay, but the RBI may cancel its license when the banking company ceases to carry on its business. First. Second, where the company at any time fails to comply with any of the condition which was imposed by them, and any banking company agree by the decision by RBI may within 30 days appeal to central government, where the direction of the central government shall be final. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. So yes, the RBI for commencing the business, the banking business, they have to take prior approval from the RBI. If RBI is not granting registration, the banking company cannot go for the functions, right? Okay, business and all. Okay, but with that, RBI can cancel their registration, guys, and if they are not complying the condition or the guidelines are not followed by them, which is given by the RBI. Okay, and these are the things for that. Yes, they can also appeal to central government within 30 days of the cancellation of certificate and all. Okay, now let's go for section 23, which is restriction on opening of new and transfer of the existing places of their business, which is no banking company shall open a new place, whether it is in the India or whether it is outside the India. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. हाँ जी. But if it is done for the temporary purpose, for the like period of 1 month, then surely they need not to take permission from them. ठीक है. If they want to go for the open a new place of business in India and for the outside India, they have to take the prior permission from the RBI. Okay, but definitely one thing exception here, if it is done for like 1 month, the business is conducted only for 1 month, for surely then no need of RBI is to be taken here. Let's go for the section 24, minimum percentage of liquid asset, which should not be less than 25%. Okay, let's go for the yes, submission of return of unclaimed deposit. इसमें मैं important बता देती हूँ guys. No, you just go for section 29, which is important. Question आया हुआ है. Page number is 20 of my handwritten notes. Okay, so what are the accounts and balance sheet as per section 26, 29? What is the account which is to be maintained by banking company? Is there? Yes, they have to maintain as per schedule 3. Okay, yes, and it should be signed, the P&L and all, it should be signed by at least 3 directors if there are majorly more than 3 directors in the company. If there is less than them, then jitne hain utne director with the principal officer and the manager. Okay, this was all about the accounts and balance sheet. Acha, in form number A and form number B, this could be asked in form of MCQ, guys. So let me wrap it all. Okay, it should be prepared the balance sheet and P&L account on the last working day of every accounting year. What is that? Which is 31st March. Okay, and in set out in the schedule 3 in form A and form B. ठीक है, इसमें यहाँ पे मेंशन नहीं है. ओके, अकाउंट्स मस्ट बी साइन बाय दी एटलीस्ट 3 डायरेक्टर वेयर नो ऑफ द डायरेक्टर विद द नंबर ऑफ डायरेक्टर एक्सीड 3. इफ नंबर ऑफ डायरेक्टर शेल शॉर्ट बाय 3, ऑल ऑफ डायरेक्टर मस्ट साइन the accounts. In case of banking company incorporated outside India, account must be signed by the manager and the principal officer of the company in India. इतनी बात समझ में आ गई. बहुत ईजी था एंड ये बहुत ईजी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है एग्जाम में. ओके, हाँ जी. सो लेट्स गो फॉर द ऑडिटिंग ऑफ बैंकिंग कंपनी अंडर सेक्शन 30. सो इज इट द रिक्वायरमेंट द ऑडिट शुड बी डन? यस, ऑडिट इज टू बी डन. ठीक है, विद इन वो लास्ट 3 when once this account is prepared from the last day of the year, right, 31st March, वहाँ से ये within 3 months this audit of banking company, the report should be sent to RBI. ठीक है, but whether you think this the audit can the time can be granted, yes, further 3 months can be granted by the RBI, but not more than that. So 3 months plus 3 months. Okay, total 6 months. Okay, so what should be submitted? In 3 copies in a prescribed manner should be submitted to the RBI. And what is going to be written here? That all the information is true and it's give true and fair view. Yes, we all know this, है ना. यही सब लिखना होता है. एकदम से क्वेश्चन पढ़ते हैं ना, गड़बड़ा जाते हैं कि what is written here. Okay, तो which is this part is related to 29 section, which is of accounts and balance sheet. Remember, so 30 is related to there, related to this, that with along with the account and balance sheet and the report of auditor report is to be sent to the RBI within 3 months from the expiry of time, and extension of 3 months can be granted, and 3 copies is to be submitted, right? Okay, and everything is as per RBI guidelines, and everything is every full additional disclosure should be done if it is required and all. Okay, so this is all about this part. let's go for section 35 again. 35A, it's important guys. Power of RBI to give direction. Okay, when the RBI is going to do this, okay, simple, when if it is done in public interest, second, interest of banking of policy, third, prevent of affair of any banking company depositor, interest of depositor, interest of public interest या फिर depositor interest, interest of the banking policy, इतना ठीक है. एंड फॉर लास्ट टू सिक्योर प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट ऑफ बैंकिंग कंपनी. बहुत ईजी है, ठीक है. नहीं आ रहा इतना भी लिख लो ना तो बहुत है. ओके, लेट्स गो फॉर द 35AA, पावर ऑफ CG. नाउ the CG, the authority authorize the RBI for issuing bank direction to banking company to initiate the insolvency resolution process. Last stage जहाँ पे होगा, the central government can initiate to for what, the insolvency resolution process to whom, to the RBI, ठीक है. But when default under provision of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, which is going to be next chapter, okay, तो अपन वो भी पढ़ेंगे आज. Okay, so this was all about the power of central government. Central government can initiate the insolvency resolution process, okay, and further process would be going on. Okay, what is the power of RBI to issue direction in case of stressed asset? Let me tell you what is stressed asset, which is non-performing asset plus return of asset and reconstruction loan and all. ठीक है, so there are some again same point ही है, ठीक है. It's not that much कि you have to follow the direction by the banking company and all ये, ठीक है. More authorities can be specified and approved and all. Okay. And let me see section 36. Okay, we will do the question, which is section 36A, AA and AB. They are saying removal of manager and any other person can be done or not. Yes, the RBI is having the power to remove any person, including the director, managing director, manager and all. Okay, so don't worry, we'll do a question of this. Let's go for the other part, suspension of business. Of banking business I'm talking here. Definitely Banking Regulation Act ही चल रहा है तो वही होगा. So section 37, there was a MCQ, who is going to suspend the business here. High Court may application of a banking company with a temporary unable to meet its obligation make an order. So what is going to be the authority here? The High Court. Yes. So let's go for the section 38, simple wind up by the High Court. If it is not satisfied, then suspension के बाद क्या होगा, winding up हो जाएगा. ठीक है, वही सारी चीज़ें कि minimum paid up when it was not maintained by the bank, ठीक है, guidelines were not proper or even reports were not sent on time which is specified by RBI with that guidelines and all, या फिर corrupted the directors है ना, fraudulent activities and all. So everything is going to be mentioned here. Okay, what is going to be last point, amalgamation of a company, which is also important, and it is going to be done if 2/3 of the majority of total voting ratio of the shareholders in general meeting is done, then only amalgamation can be done. So this was all about this section and chapters guys. I already told you the important one, you have to mark it. Everything is damn important, everything you have to cover. ठीक है Vinod, hi, everything you have to cover. But you know what, I'll tell you one thing कि if you are only going for the important, you will lose everything guys, because question may come from anywhere in any form. So you have to read each and everything, but you cannot leave the important one. Okay, so I'm going for some question. Let's go for the Banking Regulation Act. Okay, give me some time and open your scanner guys. So we are going for scanner question now. Hope you are having scanner with you. I'm having December 2024 attempt scanner with me. Okay, so let's go for the scanner, page number 13.348. मैंने बोला simple question can come in exam. Simple question, straightforward question is this: state the rule of disposal of non-banking asset under Banking Regulation Act 1949. So the banking company cannot, थोड़ा सा मैं बता देती हूँ, ठीक है, cannot comply for any non-banking asset for a period more than 7 years, right, from the date of acquisition of asset, but such a period of 7 years can be increased as per the provision. Okay, I'm going to show you one thing that I always used to write in my handwriting. दिख रहा है ना. इफ़ यू आर अनेबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, बिकॉज एट द लास्ट टाइम, लास्ट मोमेंट जिसको अपन बोलते हैं ना एग्जाम से एक दिन पहले, यही चीज़ आपको याद करनी पड़ेगी, है ना. बिकॉज वंस यू आर रीडिंग दिस थिंग, आपको सब कुछ याद आ जाएगा कि क्या चीज़ें लिखी हुई है. अदरवाइज यू कैन नॉट गो फॉर ईच एंड एवरीथिंग एट लास्ट ना. सो यू हैव टू इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट अर्लियर, है ना. फिर लास्ट में यू आर ओनली गोइंग टू सी दिस, एंड वंस यू आर सीइंग दिस पॉइंट ना, सब कुछ याद आ जाता है. ओके, सो येस, विद दिस सेक्शन 6 इज ऑल्सो देयर. शिवानी चौधरी, नाइस, thank you so much, keep learning guys. Okay, so with that, section 6 is also with section 9 कि no banking company shall hold any immovable property except for its own use, and this extension can be provided by RBI 7 years to था. With that, it's going to be extend for approx 5 years if the RBI satisfied, if it is done in favor of interest of the depositor. So let me read it very quickly guys. Okay, disposal of the non banking asset, सेक्शन कौन सा, सेक्शन 9 था, अलॉन्ग विथ सेक्शन 6 से. हाँ जी. So the disposal of non-banking asset, according to Banking Regulation Act, a banking company cannot hold any non-banking asset for a period more than 7 years from the date of its acquisition of such asset. Okay, such period of the 7 years can be increased as per the provision of the Act. All such non-banking asset shall be disposed of within a period of 7 years or the extent or is extended, notwithstanding anything contained in section 6. No banking company shall hold any immovable property, however acquired, except such as required for its own use. So it should be used for its own use, first thing. ठीक है. Otherwise, if it have granted to use, given the property to somebody else, some other institution, so it is not allowed as per our law. Okay, so as per section 6, no banking company shall hold any of the immovable property whosoever acquired, except such as it's required for its own use, for any period exceeding 7 years from the acquisition thereof, or from a commencement of a banking regulation act, whichever is later. Okay, and or any extension of such period as in this section, provided such property shall dispose of within such period or extension period as in case may be. Okay, what are the exception? Now the banking company may within the period of 7 years as they after said deal or trade in any such property for the purpose of facilitating the disposal thereof. Second, the Reserve Bank may in any particular case extend the aforesaid period of the 7 year by such period not exceeding 5 years where it is satisfied that such extension would be in interest of depositor. तो इतना मोटा मोटी राम कहानी बोल तो दिया इन्होंने, लेकिन in my language I have just made it so easy, if and it's going to be helpful for you, damn sure, and you have to use it in this way guys. ठीक है, where I have mentioned about section 9, ठीक है, and section 6. So when at last moment I'm just going to read it, मेरे को याद आ जाएगा, हाँ section 9 में ये था, section 6 में ये था. Along with that there is an exception here. Okay, so you have to do this guys, and I know it's going to be helpful for you. Okay, what about the power? Let's go for the next question. I'm just reading the question guys. अब आपको ऐसे याद आना चाहिए. Okay, page number 13.349 is about the power of RBI to regulate determination of loan and advances by banking regulation. कंपनी क्या क्या था, मैक्सिमम अमाउंट एंड मार्जिन वाला अमाउंट, है ना, एंड मैक्सिमम अमाउंट ग्रांटेड वाला, गारंटी वाला, इंटरेस्ट वाला. दिस वॉज व्हाट one thing. If you don't know what should be written inside, or you don't know how it should be mentioned, right, I'm going to tell you one thing. First thing, you have to underline the heading. Okay, here I have underlined the purpose. मुझे नहीं पता दिख रहा है नहीं. So here I have underlined the purpose, so that I am only going to write the heading first. ठीक है, and later on what should be written in the content, like you have to make a key point. ठीक है, जो कि अपन बोल सकते हैं कि अपनी लैंग्वेज में एब्रिविएशन बनाना, शॉर्टकट बनाना, so that you can formulate the sentence at that time while you are giving the answers or writing the answers. Okay, so let's go for the next part, which is next question, ठीक है, which is related to section 36 AA, and this is of December 2014, page number 13349. Mr. Anuj is a director in a State Bank of India on the ground of a misconduct to the interest of the depositor. पहली बात तो यहाँ पे everything is done in favor of interest of depositor, है ना, right? The extension as we just read in section 9, where the RBI can grant the extension if it is done in favor, in interest of depositor. So here in the question they have given the misconduct to the interest of depositors is done, right? The RBI of India terminate his service. So whether RBI of India can do under the Banking Regulation Act 1949? Yes. ठीक है, now you have to tell all of the measure. Okay, so here again under section 36AA of Banking Regulation Act 1949, अब तक तो आपको पता है बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट भी याद होना चाहिए, कौन से ईयर में, 1949 में। सेक्शन इसका कौन सा था, 36AA था, ठीक है। वो डिस्पोजल वाला कौन सा था, सेक्शन 9 था, अलॉन्ग विथ कौन सा सेक्शन, सेक्शन 6 था, है ना। ऐसे याद करोगे ना तभी तो कोट करोगे ना आंसर, है ना। अच्छे बच्चे हैं ना अपन। चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं। सो सेक्शन 36AA ऑफ द बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट 1949, RBI can terminate any chairperson, any director, any chief executive or other official or any employee of the bank where it consider desirable to do so, such particularly when RBI is of opinion that the conduct of such person is detrimental. So this term is important. This is the key word. ठीक है, use this word while you are quoting the answer, writing the answer. Detrimental. Okay, so underline this part. This is a keyword for you. To the interest of the depositor. Second keyword. For securing proper management of the banking company. So another keyword is going to be the securing proper management. I already read up to this. What we have find out key keyword is going to be detrimental interest of the security, and third is going to be the securing proper management of the banking company. वही तो पढ़ रहे हैं ना अपन। हाँ जी, okay. Before such termination, concerned person would get opportunity of being heard. हाँ जी, हाँ, okay. So whether this person can go and make appeal to any authority, yes, which is central government, within 30 days from the date of such communication and such termination, the decision of the central government cannot called into question. That is going to be final. Whatever is taken by the decision taken by the central government, nobody can oppose the authority. Okay. The decision of the central government cannot be called into question. In case of the order is issued pursuant to its section, the concerned person shall cease to hold his office for a period not exceeding 5 years. Okay, specified in the order. Contravention is also there, punishment with a fine of extent to 250 per day. Okay, this was all about 36A. Just उसके नीचे is 36AB where additional person can be appointed. Okay, not more than 3 years. This is about 36AB. Okay, now let's go for the section question. I'm not going to in detail. I'm going to just tell you what is this about. Section question है अपना June 2016, page number is 13.352, where the board of director of newly incorporated banking company is required to file the accounts of bank balance sheet, advise the board of director about the law related to preparation, signing and filing of account. Okay, and balance sheet under the provision of banking. कौन सा सेक्शन था, सेक्शन अकाउंट्स एंड बैलेंस शीट 29 था। रिपोर्ट किसको भेजना है, अपन को आरबीआई को भेजना है 3 महीने बाद। ओके हाँ जी, ओके। सो इन विच सेक्शन वो लास्ट वाला रिपोर्ट भेजना होता है आरबीआई को, 31 एंड 32। सो अकाउंट्स इट शुड बी मेंटेन अंडर सेक्शन 29 अलॉन्ग विथ 31 32। ओके, इतनी बात याद आ गई। हाँ जी, नाउ व्हाट वर द मेन पार्ट, लेट मी क्विकली टेल यू गाइस। ठीक है, every banking company should prepare the balance sheet and the P&L as per on the last date, working date of accounting year, March 31st, Form A, Form B, as per Schedule 3. Okay, I'm not going in what the law is written in the scanner. Okay, answer written in the scanner. I've just again written in my own language and I'm just reading this. Okay, so this makes सब कुछ याद आ जाता है, अंदर क्या क्या लिखना है सब कुछ याद आ जाता है. So in form number A and B in third schedule, question may come in form of MCQ, third schedule. P&L and balance sheet should be formed in third schedule, form A and B. Signing, कौन सा, managing principal officer with directors 3. If there is less than 3 directors, so जितने हैं उतने directors. Okay. For the outside India, who is going to sign? The principal officer and the manager. Okay, it is to be submitted the audit, the P&L and the what is this, balance sheet. Along with that, the audit report should be sent to RBI within 3 months from the last date of that year, right? Accounting year, है ना? हाँ. With that, with extension of 3 months is also be given, and 3 copies along with audit report is to be sent. Okay. Huh. That's it about this section, guys. Let's go for the other part. Where I'm just going to read the question because we have already covered the functions of RBI, guys. What are the functions? मैं ऑलरेडी इतनी लंबी चौड़ी कहानी बता चुकी हूँ, अगर नहीं आया ना पकड़ के मांगूंगी मैं ठीक है। सो व्हाट आर द फंक्शंस गाइस, इशू ऑफ नोट, ठीक है, नोट से ही आपने को याद आना चाहिए। मॉनेटरी स्टेबिलिटी इज द अनदर पॉइंट, राइट, एंड विद दैट देयर आर सो मेनी की डिज़ाइन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, ये फलाना फलाना, फॉरेन एक्सचेंज ट्रांजेक्शन, रिजर्व मीटिंग स्टेबिलिटी, व्हाट आर द अदर मेजर्स एंड ऑल, ठीक है, एंड प्रमोशन ऑफ नाबार्ड एंड ऑल, एंड व्हाट नॉन बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन एंड ऑल, है ना, ये चीज़ें अच्छे से ही याद आ चाहिए। ओके, what are the next part? Let me go. Okay guys, with this you also have to go for the minimum percentage of the net profit which is to be maintained to reserve fund, okay, and that is going to be 20%, and the question have come in December 2015, page number 13.357. होप सो यू आर हैविंग द स्कैनर नहीं है तो बहुत गलत बात है बेटा, बहुत गलत पढ़ाई कर रहे हो आप लोग, ओके। सो येस, एज पर सेक्शन 17 अगेन आई हैव रिटन इन माई ओन लैंग्वेज, यू हैव टू डू दिस गाइज, एंड मे इफ यू आर गोइंग टू रीड दिस क्वेश्चन, दिस आंसर, आपसे कुछ नहीं होगा, okay, so start writing if you have not written it in your own language, okay. So let me be very quick. Every banking company have to create a transfer sum which is equivalent not less than 20% of the net profit each year, but there is some exception if the CG thing, if it is done in favor of the depositor. With that, if the reserve fund and the security premium account should be equal to the paid up share capital of the company, okay. So yes, this was all about this part, okay. You have to read this question also. So guys, we have covered three major chapter अपन cover कर चुके हैं, and we will go for the insolvency bankruptcy code, है ना। मुझे 2 से 5 मिनट ब्रेक दे दो, है ना, मैं थोड़ा सा पानी पीऊँगी, तब तक मैं लाइव ऑफ चली जाऊँगी, फिर मैं वापस आ जाऊँगी, then we'll do the last chapter and we'll complete it, okay. Hope so मज़े आ रहे हैं ना, पढ़ाई में बोरिंग तो नहीं हो रही ना, है ना। चलो, we'll meet in 2 to 5 minutes, okay, bye.